Hello and welcome. In this webinar meeting, we are happy to have Mr. Boniface Muthusi from Kenya with us. He works at Juhudi Kilimo, a microfinance institution, as a Chief Credit and Risk Officer. One of the things Juhudi Kilimo is specialized in is the financing of the agricultural sector. Today, Boniface will tell us a bit about his work in general and what his criteria for granting a loan to rural smallholder farmers are. In the first part of the webinar, Boniface will shortly introduce his work. In the second part, I'll have the opportunity to ask him some questions. My name is Hans Hartung and I hope you'll enjoy our webinar. So please go ahead, Boniface. We are happy to have you with us.
Thank you, Ernst, for this opportunity to share on agricultural financing. As you've been told, my name is Boniface Muthusi, and I am a microfinance specialist from Kenya. I have worked in this industry with 4 institutions for the last 15 years in various positions of business development and risk management. Currently, I am responsible for developing and leading in the implementation of credit administration and enterprise risk management strategies, policies, and processes as the Chief Credit and Risk Officer of Juhudi Kilimo. Additionally, I am a PhD fellow in strategic management at the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology in Kenya. Thank you once again to have me on board for this discussion. Welcome. Enjoy this short presentation on solar-powered irrigation in Eastern Africa, themed from technology to upscaling. And this is a case study of financing agriculture at Juhudi Kilimo. Juhudi Kilimo is an institution that was founded in the year 2004, and it initially existed as an asset financing test program for KREP Development Agency in Kenya. In the year 2009, Juhudi Kilimo spun off into an independent for-profit social enterprise. The vision of Juhudi Kilimo is to be a leading provider of transformative financial solutions to rural smallholder farmers in Eastern Africa. And the mission is to improve the livelihoods of rural smallholder farmers and micro entrepreneurs by providing wealth-creating financial solutions. Our model is predominantly agricultural assets financing that offers immediate and sustainable income for rural smallholder farmers. Over the years, from 2009 to date, we've been able to reach over 115,000 farmers. And as at the close of the year 2018, we had a loan book of 16 million USD, being served by over 257 members of staff. Juhudi Kilimo has a product offering that is categorized into 6 main categories. We have the animal farming, we have the farm equipment, we have the working capital, consumer loans, and crop farming. We also have the clean energy, under which the solar-powered water pumps fall. In terms of how we go about giving credit to our customers or giving loans to our farmers, we employ 2 main tools in credit appraisal. And one of the tools is the 5 C's of credit that looks into the character, capital, capacity, conditions, and collateral of the customers. The other closely related tool that we use is a CAMPARI, which looks into the character, ability, the margin, or what the customers or the farmers will have as a return on investment, the purpose of the loan, and the amount, and we match that with the loan installment. And finally, we look into the collateral, which in Juhudi Kilimo will basically be the asset that we have financed. Speaking into the issue of solar-powered irrigation systems, we've been able to observe what has been happening in the industry. And from where I sit, I would want to just give some 3 options on how to get solar irrigation solutions to the farmer. One is the solar irrigation solution providers or the planners can form partnerships with financial institutions, with water drilling companies, farmers associations, or government agencies, and be able to use those avenues or to ride on those institutions to deliver the products to the farmers. The second option is an in-house financing program, where the solar irrigation solution providers can have an in-house kind of credit, where they provide not just the product, but also the financing and the after-sales support. A good example is a Solar Now, Sun Culture. Those are 2 institutions that are using this option. And the third option is more or less a traditional model, where the solar irrigation solution providers will stock their items with shops. They could be their own shops, could be distributors, and it could be direct sales, where they have field staff in the farms. Now, to make this successful, it is good that the planners of solar irrigation equipment also provide other value-added services. It would be good if they could also look at providing market linkages to the farmers, because when they provide them with the irrigation equipment, it follows that their production is going to be high. And another very critical area that works very well, especially when we have the partnerships and the in-house financing, is the development of a very strong and robust support system that takes care of the delivery and installation, that provides good testing and demonstration of the products, as well as after-sales support. It's also important that when these planners are getting into partnerships with institutions, that they should come up with very good MOUs or memorandums of understanding, as well as providing incentives, providing reconciliation tools, so that none of the partners loses in the course of business. And the other issue is to provide quality management assurance and product innovation over time, because we know technology gets obsolete over a short period. So it would be paramount for these institutions to keep on improving their products. And finally, let the world know what is happening in these institutions. And thank you for the opportunity to give that short presentation on Juhudi Kilimo, the background, how we go about financing these items, as well as a word of advice to the providers of solar irrigation equipment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Boniface, for this interesting presentation. I'm sure that there are some additional questions from our audience. Thanks again for being available for a short interview on solar-powered irrigation systems and their financing. As I understand, you are working for a bank in Kenya, which is financing quite a number of solar-powered irrigation systems for farmers, also small-scale farmers. To start with, I would like you to tell us a bit about the microfinance institution, its name, a short background for what clientele it works, in which areas, and your role in this. Maybe this is again important for our audience.
Thank you, Hans. Juhudi Kilimo is a microfinance company which began in the year 2004 as a simple agribusiness initiative with Kairat Development Agency in Kenya By the year 2009, Juhudi Kilimo had developed into an independent for-profit social enterprise with a mission of improving the livelihoods of rural smallholder farmers and micro entrepreneurs by providing wealth-creating financial solutions. Juhudi Kilimo has operations in Kenya with 28 branches, serving over 60,000 farmers as at the close of 2018. The company provides asset-based loans and working capital to finance specific needs. And these include farm animals, farm equipment, crop farming, working capital, clean energy, and consumer loans, all to improve productivity and the incomes of our farmers. Thank you.
Thanks, Boniface. You know, we always hear that agricultural financing is considered a high-risk factor. Why and what are you and your bank doing differently as you finance agriculture, obviously with success?
Well, it is very true, Hans, that agricultural financing is high risk. And this is basically due to the several uncertainties that go with farming. I'll mention a few of them. One of them is unreliable rainfall that is not able to take the crops through to maturity. The second issue is crop diseases that cause low production or poor quality yield. In the case of animal farming, we have animal diseases that lead to poor yield as well as death of the animals. We have brokers and cartels that exist in the agricultural space. And more often than not, they buy produce from the farmers at very low prices, and they end up getting a bigger margin because they control the markets. Closely related to that is lack of access to markets, and this is predominantly due to the distance and the poor infrastructure in the rural areas where most farmers are located. The other bit is the cost of inputs that is not very friendly to farmers. So these, among other issues, even including government policies that are not very friendly to agriculture in terms of providing incentives, make agricultural financing quite a high-risk space. At Juhudi Kilimo, we've been able to manage these risks through several things. And I'll just mention a few of them. One of them is that we provide training to our farmers on best agricultural practices and financial management. This enables them to get the right combination of financing and extension services that would give them optimum produce and a good mix of financing and farming. The other way Juhudi Kilimo mitigates this is through providing asset financing, where the asset acts as both a source of income and collateral for the loan that is borrowed. So this way, we find ourselves improving the cash flow of the customer while providing a collateral or a fallback in the event that the loan is not paid. The other bit that we do is we encourage our farmers to practice mixed farming. And this is where we encourage them to do both crop and animal farming, so that if one area fails, they can be able to compensate in the other area. We also have mixed farming within crop farming, where different crops with different maturity times are produced, and this enables them to smoothen the cash flow. The other bit is we offer insurance for credit life, such that if in the unfortunate event that one of our farmers dies, we don't have to go to their next of kin. The insurance takes care of that. While we also provide insurance for some of the assets, especially those that are insurable, that in the event of damage, the farmer does not bear the full cost. As an institution, we also practice responsible financing, where we don't overburden our farmers with loans. We use a lot of credit reference bureau data just to be sure that we are not giving more than what the farmer can afford to pay. And then one other bit that we do is we are cognizant of the cycles in farming where there is fluctuation of the incomes. So what we do is we make sure that we match the loan terms and the timing of the loans with the income cycles that exist in farming.
Thanks very much. And what I would like to know is, how does it work now in detail when you finance a solar-powered irrigation system? This might be of great interest to the participant of our courses.
Well, the process of acquiring the solar-powered irrigation system in Juhudi Kilimo is pretty simple. And the first step is identification of the equipment by the farmer from the suppliers. This can be sourced from the open market stores or from the solar companies that Juhudi Kilimo has partnered with. Once the farmer has identified that, then they submit the quotation showing the price of the item together with a loan application form to Juhudi Kilimo. Now, Juhudi Kilimo carries out the loan appraisal as per the company's lending policies using the two tools that I alluded to earlier on. If successful, Juhudi Kilimo makes a payment to the supplier and the farmer will pick the solar-powered irrigation system for use. Now, in this case, they will have to work with the providers for the installation, for the demonstration, because our role will be majorly on the financing aspect. Once that is done, then the customer will be paying the agreed installment during the regular group meetings, which can be monthly, which can be bi-weekly based on the agreement until the loan is fully repaid. Now, where the solar-powered irrigation system was bought from the companies that are in partnership with Juhudi Kilimo, then the suppliers' field staff will always be available to provide after-sales support services. So that is the process in a nutshell of acquiring finance for solar-powered irrigation system in Juhudi Kilimo.
So what advice would you give farmers or planners of solar-powered irrigation systems to successfully get finance for their solar investment? What should they do, and maybe what they should not do?
Well, Hans, I would say that commendable milestones have been achieved in this space, and I would only wish to add some 3 or 4 points on the same. One is that the farmers should ensure that they have stable and sufficient sources of water to do irrigation. We've had cases where farmers have bought irrigation equipment only for the water sources to get drained within a very short time. The second thing that I would put as an advice to the providers or the planners is that they should create more awareness and trainings on the operations and maintenance of the equipment so that the farmers do not feel like they are losing out when they have a loan to repay and the equipment that has either broken down or is not meeting their requirements. The service providers or the equipment providers should also ensure that they have enough and qualified field staff, and in this case, technicians, who are easily accessible to the farmers to offer after-sales services, support, and repairs as need be. And then finally, I would encourage the planners of solar-powered irrigation systems to invest in continuous improvement and keep manufacturing high-quality pumps that are convenient to use while also meeting the needs of the farmer. And one other thing, it's also good to have these planners of the solar-powered irrigation systems look for partners that can help them in development of the technology so that the price at which this gets to the farmer is easily affordable. Thank you, Hans.
Thanks, Boniface. This is really helpful for our participants in the courses, and Thank you very much for answering all these questions. It was certainly helpful for us all. So keep your energy and enthusiasm to support the small-scale farmers in Kenya.
Yes, Boniface, and thank you also from my side and from the side of the participants. It was a very interesting interview and very interesting presentation you did. Thanks a lot for your attendance, dear participants, that you have been with us today, Boniface. If there is the need to contact JKL, please use the contact information of Boniface and JKL. This webinar has been part of the e-learning course on solar-powered irrigation systems, and it has been produced by the Australia University of Applied Sciences on behalf of the German development agency GIZ GmbH. Okay, thank you very much and bye-bye.